Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backshot Boxing. Now, pound for pound, number one fighter, man. Uh, First 140 undisputed champion in the modern era, man. Current WBO welterweight champion. He's been defending all of his belts by all knockouts. The superstar boxer, Terance Crawford, man. He's seen what happened yesterday with the biggest news that boxing has to offer right now was that one of the biggest fights in the welterweight division, the biggest fight in the welterweight division, against ERROL Spence and Manny Pacquiao, 8 division world champion. That fight has been postponed, and Ganes Ugas is going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao. Now, this is a really big deal, man. Terance Crawford, I believe he weighs in on the situation. As soon as this event dropped, he had something to say on Twitter, which is very, very introspective, right? He said, "In life, I've always looked at things for what they was. Everything happens for a reason," right? Big quotes from my boy, big homie Terance Crawford. And this is a really big deal, man. Terance Crawford, he says everything happens for a reason. And the guy is rubbing his hands like Birdman because he sees Pacquiao as his next meal. Now, for the sake of this video, we're gonna happen to say that Manny Pacquiao gets past Ganes Ugas. ERROL Spence Jr. dealing with the teared retina in his left eye, I believe. He's going to have to do a lot to get past the injury, right? The healing time of the injury is an extreme amount of time. Not only that, ERROL Spence Jr. is not going to be able to spar. Maybe he can still continue working out, but maybe he wants to take it easy. We just don't know what kind of condition ERROL Spence could be in when his eye is getting surgically done, if he can actually do any physical activities. Bouncing up and down could hurt his eye. Doing things like jogging, when you're jogging, you're bouncing up and down when you jog. Simple things like that can affect his eye. Who knows? I'm not a doctor, but what I do know is Terance Crawford, he's going to be in the mix to fight Manny Pacquiao. It seems more realistically than ERROL Spence Jr. at this stage in his career because, well, ERROL Spence Jr. has an eye problem, right? Torn retina, right? There's a tear in his retina. So that being said, man, Terance Crawford, undisputed at 140, and the guy is shy of 2 fights away, or 2 or 3 fights away, if he gets, a touch-up fight with my boy Showtime Sean Porter. If he can get past him, he's 2 fights away to becoming undisputed at 147 as well, right? Let's just say he gets past Sean Porter, then Pacquiao, then ERROL Spence Jr. That is GOAT level type resume for Terance Bud Crawford. So we're gonna see how this plays out with Terance Crawford, man. I'm always intrigued with his career. Everyone's a bum when you fight Terance Crawford. All of his opponents aren't that good, but all of his opponents were that good. Terance Crawford just made him look ordinary or subpar. When Terance Crawford fought Kell Brook, he walked through Kell Brook. Kell Brook had a good round with his jab, but as soon as Terance Crawford touched him, Kell Brook froze. Now this isn't undefeated Kell Brook, but you get my point. The gist of the matter is, Terance Crawford, he makes these ordinary fighters look like trash, and we're gonna see how Terance Crawford deals with a quote-unquote elite level fighter at welterweight, because Showtime Sean Porter is known to bring the fight to you. He's known to bring the pressure, and he's known to have an A1 chin, right? Took the shots from Keith Thurman, took the shots from ERROL Spence, took the shots from Danny Garcia, right? Showtime Sean Porter has never been stopped before. So this is going to really show if Terance Crawford is doing a Mayweather and making these elite level fighters look subpar at best. So that being said, man, Terance Crawford, he's been talking big and bold, talking about he's going to stop Showtime Sean Porter, and we're going to see how this whole thing plays out. He still has to make a big statement come in the following months when this fight gets finalized with Showtime Sean Porter and Terance Bud Crawford. But that being said, man, now that one of the big dogs, one of the big three has been taken down in that welterweight division, the big three being ERROL Spence Jr., Terance Bud Crawford, and Manny Pacquiao, Terance Crawford has the chance to solidify himself as a top dog. And what better way to do it than to fight Showtime Sean Porter and make a statement? Beating Sean Porter, a lot of people have got past Sean Porter. Not too many people, but Kell Brook got shot past Sean Porter, right? Keith one-time Thurman got past Shawn Porter. But can Terance Crawford stop him? We will see. But that being said, man, Terance Crawford and Errol Spence have been going back and forth for a while now. Terance Crawford at one point said he was past the Errol Spence Jr. fight. But now that the fight didn't happen with Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence, Terance Crawford can take that from Errol Spence. He could take the legacy fight from him. And Errol Spence Jr., while he's had a lot of solid fights at 147, he hasn't had any legacy fights as well. He had really solid opponents that match him in his era, like the Danny Garcias, like the Shawn Porters, but he hasn't had a legacy fight. And both these fighters really need it. And, there's era fights to fight the best in the era, but Pacquiao, he expands past eras, man. He fought, during the Cotto era, the Oscar De La Hoya era. He fought through so many people, going way back. The guy's 42 years old. So Manny Pacquiao is ancient, and fighting him is historic, for sure. No doubt about it, because he accomplished something which no other fighter has, which is becoming an 8-division world champion, right? So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out, man. I know Terance Crawford, he's going to have to show up for that Manny Pacquiao Ugas Ugas fight, because this is a career-defining moment for him. Pacquiao only has so long to wait, and we don't know how long that surgery is going to take with Errol Spence Jr. and the recovery time on it. Not only that, but Errol Spence Jr. will have to start camp all over again, and it seems like the delay will be so long that it could be drawn out to the point where Pacquiao might move on to bigger and better things, i.e. being Terance Bud Crawford. So let me know how you guys feel about it, though, man. I think Terance Crawford, me personally, I think Terance Crawford has a better chance to fighting Manny Pacquiao as far as fighting him sooner than Errol the True Spence. Yeah, that seems like a more reasonable fight for Pacquiao, because there's too many unknown factors for Errol Spence right now, right? They didn't really get specific on how bad the tear was, the recovery time. We just don't know yet. So, after the surgery, we're going to see the recovery time on Errol Spence Jr. if he be back in the ring. There's some fighters who came back from a retina tear. Think Abner Mares, he came back. He was scheduled to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, and then he figured out he had a torn retina. But, Abner Mares then came back to fight Leo Santa Cruz. So that being said, man, we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with my boy Errol the True Spence. But let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Do you guys think that Terance Crawford will get the Pacquiao fight before Errol Spence? I mean, who knows? But anyway, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Empire. Geobasing Empire. This. Geobasing Empire.